Alright, so I figured I'd start my countdown to Transformers The Last Night since it's coming out in a few days. So, here's my review on the first movie. So, with that all being said, there's going to be spoilers in this review. So, that's your warning. Now, I honestly didn't think I was going to see this movie right away. I mean, I saw the teaser and I saw the trailers and it looks really good, but I didn't think it was something I was gonna jump right to the movie theater and see on its opening weekend. But I decided at the last second, me and my friend, we were bored and we were gonna, do something later on that day. And it's like, okay, so there's really nothing else to do. Is there anything playing? And then we saw that Transformers came out, and I'm like, and then we both agreed, hey, let's go check it out. And I had a feeling of relief because I was buried in the funk that Spider-Man 3 left me in, like with how disappointing that movie was. So when I walked into this movie, when it started from beginning, middle, and end, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like I was stuck in humidity, and this movie was the breeze, where I'm just like, now I can enjoy myself because, the humor in this movie basically, sort of revived me. It gave it made me enjoy myself again, like pretty much where I was just like, I just could not get that out of my head, like, oh, why did Spider-Man 3 have to be the way it did? And then this movie came out and it basically took my mind right off of that. And but that all, just with that alone, like that's why I never really had any issues with the humor in this movie. But now, fast forward 10 years later, like the more I look back on it, the more I said to myself, like, yeah, they could have toned down the humor a little bit, just a little. And my other nitpick with this movie is that they when they introduced Optimus Prime, it wasn't until like later on in the movie, like when we're almost leaving Act 2 and heading towards Act 3. And same thing with Megatron, like same thing with that too. I was never a huge Transformers fan. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but I just never really gave myself time to sit down and really watch the show. I would see it here and there, and I would leave the TV on as I'm getting ready for school or whatever, and then the episodes are on, but I never really paid close attention because I was always getting ready for school when that show, when the old cartoon series was on, like at that time. I guess they were showing reruns, every morning from Monday through Friday. So I didn't really have time to really sit down and pay attention to it. All I knew is that they transform into cars and the airplanes and everything like that, and jets and so on. The three Transformer characters that stood out to me was Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Starscream. So I wasn't really that aware of any other Transformers until this movie came out, and then I did my homework a little bit after that. And so after seeing this movie, I consider myself a fan, and Optimus Prime is my favorite part of the movie, even though we didn't get him until like near the towards the end of the movie. But I don't know. They could have shortened some of the dialogue with all these characters that are somehow connected and are all trying to figure out, what is this artificial intelligence? What does this mean? What's going on and whatever. But I don't know. I would have shortened that down a bit and just got right to, where we introduced the rest of the Autobots and the rest of the Decepticons a little sooner. And but it does have a really good plot. It keeps your attention while, like where Sam is basically, he gets a, like where Sam gets a car. It turns out to be Bumblebee, and and then we see that he is connected to, you know, to his great grandfather who seen Megatron, and that basically he had a mental breakdown after he came in contact with him, and then you know there's the glasses with the coordinates to the Allspark, and then there we go. But I mean, it still holds up after 10 years. You know, like I didn't mind the humor at all, but they could have toned it down a little bit. But I mean, it was still a fun movie, and I call this the movie of the summer. You know, the movie of that summer. It may possibly be the movie of that year, if not, you know, that summer, because I did see it like a bunch of times after that because I loved the movie that much. And but my only problem was I would have liked to see Optimus Prime a little sooner, and Megatron as well, and but I can see why they try to make it appealing to people who are not fans of Transformers, and they did a really good job with that. And yeah, with that all being said, I guess this gets, yeah, it gets 4 chair spins out of 5. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 solid chair spins. So now I'm gonna be on to Revenge of the Fallen. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I mean, feel free to leave your comments on this movie, and did it live up to your expectations? Did you think it sucked? If I was a hardcore, I would say this though. If I was a hardcore fan of Transformers, and I saw the teaser to the trailers, I would be like, I have concerns. But since I wasn't really a fan at that time, I just kept an open mind. I said, this looks pretty interesting. I don't know why, like in the teaser, like I don't know why that doesn't look like a legit Transformer, but I guess they'll explain later, and it was explained, and I guess, you know, it's different, I guess. I guess it does kind of make sense in a way in that world, why they don't look like vehicles on Cybertron, even though fans would, you know, beg to differ, saying like, why can't they just look like vehicles from the jump? But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my review on this movie, thumb up the video and make sure you click subscribe if you're a newbie to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.